Well, I'm not going to have anything on it.
You're not? Okay.
No, I'm not going to put anything on it this time because
I thought we could have a little bit of like.
I was trying to figure out a way to really do that.
Because if we get off on a tangent and you want to look something up, you can pull it up there and then you can be like, hey, cool, let's look this up. And then we'll read together.
And the only thing about going live was just this is on the channel that actually has some subscribers. And this, of course, the videos you come to on a channel that does it right now.
Okay.
So we're building from zero.
Sure.
Which is fine.
Yep.
But if somebody happens to tune in, if they happen to think this is kind of cool,
we'll do it that way.
Okay. In the description, I've got, hey, check out on this other channel.
Okay. No, that works. Sounds good. So I'm looking here, time to time. You're looking here.
That's right.
Okay.
And then later, whenever I cut it up, it's going to sync it up with the audio, so it'll know which is which, and I'll be able to go cam to cam and stuff.
Am I a good placement here? Do I need to?
I think you're fine.
Okay.
I think that camera will not catch my head. It'll be able to catch you.
Okay.
I know my camera can see me, and so I think we're good to go.
All right. Sounds good.
So first of all, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Awesome.
I'm great. I'm actually really excited to do this.
Same here.
It's good.
This is gonna be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah. Well, so first of all, we used to work together.
We did.
And I was not happy that we don't work together anymore. I wish we still did.
Yeah, it was a bummer.
The shoot the shits we had were kind of epic, and I want to recreate that. I want to do that again.
Agreed. So,
and I think that people at work used to just kind of listen in.
Yes.
They used to listen in for no benefit to us.
Right.
And I don't guess there's really any benefit to us either here, at least they say it takes an average of 22 months on YouTube before you can monetize a channel.
Yep.
So for 2 years, ostensibly, there would be no benefit to us for people listening in, and that's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. Because I have fun doing this anyway, right?
Exactly.
So what have you been doing this weekend, man? How's your weekend?
It's been good. It's been hot.
Yeah? Hot. Yeah.
Nothing fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Adult things.
Yeah.
You got to do the lawn. You got to do the laundry.
Yeah.
Right. Other than that, nothing terribly crazy. My kid, he had a dentist appointment today, and he has a small cavity.
Ooh.
And
okay.
I'm like, am I not a good parent?
Right.
Like, he's little.
I think you are. You gave him candy. Like, you need to. You got to give him some candy.
Yeah. So, the questions rise up in your mind like, oh my gosh, how much candy, how much sugar is he having?
Yeah.
The dentist was like, don't worry. It's
like, are they looking at you? Like, are they out the corner of their eye?
Right.
Yeah.
So we got that all hemmed up today. His next appointment's not for a long time, so she wasn't really worried about it. But yeah, that's what I did today.
Yeah.
So
my weekend was my kid turned 13 on Saturday, which is a little weird. I got a teenager now.
Yeah.
Wow! All of a sudden,
big milestone.
Yeah. So we actually took them and a friend over to Tyler, and we had a couple things planned. Neither of the things planned went as planned. Go figure, right? Like one, we were gonna go. They keep talking about going out in the forest. Now I know. I think it's just because like we've always lived like in a town, and
sure.
So they want to go to the forest. Like I know
the 3 trees are on the corner.
Right. I don't know why they want to go into the forest so badly, but we were gonna ride a train.
Yeah.
The train in Palestine, Texas,
right.
And it goes deep through the woods and stuff. Well, we didn't realize it, but the time that we had booked was during this old people band, like this old like something mojo rock band. Like,
was it Foghat?
No, it wasn't a band you'd ever heard of.
Okay.
Some local old fogey rock band.
Sure.
And we didn't know, but the tickets were like 3 or 4 times, I guess 4 times as expensive as normal.
Jeez.
So when we thought we had bought 4 tickets, we'd actually bought 1. So we go to the ticket counter, we're like, hey, we need our tickets. And they hand us, it shows one name, my wife's, because she had bought it. And she's like, well, where's the others? And the lady's like, well, you bought 1. She's like, I bought 4. And the lady said, no, that's just 1 ticket. Yeah. And so to buy, we would have to buy 3 more. Yeah. And then a long story short, this lady, she knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But the website didn't say anything about the fact that tickets were elevated or any of this stuff. So we skipped. We didn't do it, right? We went out to eat and said, we're not doing
this. The best show on earth.
I don't think so.
Slash could have been the opening guitar player.
He wasn't.
You don't know.
I do know.
But you didn't go. So you
don't
really know.
I do know Slash wasn't there. I do. I saw
Maybe
the
he's got a
crowd.
house in Palestine.
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 I saw the crowd, and Slash didn't play for me. He just didn't. He just didn't.
You were there, so you don't know.
But I do. So we had a hike planned.
Okay.
Now, initially, the hike was planned for like the afternoon.
Okay.
And I mean, when it was 100 degrees afternoon.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. Because I'm going to tell you, there's nothing I hate worse than a hike.
Palestine is still in Texas.
Well, we're in Tyler at this time.
It's still Texas.
We were going to go to a national or a state park there in Tyler. We were going to hike. It's a really beautiful area, but it's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about trees and all of nature. I'm just going to wrap all of nature into this. Downstairs, I've got an 85-inch television in my living room. It's 4K. A tree looks so fucking beautiful on it. It looks amazing. So do flowers and bees and all the other shit you see out in the woods. They look amazing. They look so cool. You just see the fog and the sun coming through it.
Yeah.
That all looks so great. You can see individual blades of grass. Remember when that was a thing? You'd watch football and on the HD, it was, you can see individual blades of grass. Yeah, you can see that.
Yep.
I don't have to go out when it's 100 degrees to see it. I just see it right there from my living room. And see, I'm a fat guy. I don't need to be in the woods to see the woods.
Can you see the forest for the trees?
Yeah, but on my TV. So
I'm right there with you for different reasons, though.
okay.
I like.
Yeah, you're not as fat. Yeah.
I like being outside.
Yeah.
Hiking is not really a thing for me. It never really. Let's go hiking.
Yeah.
No, I'll go ride a bike outside.
Yeah.
I'll go outside and ride a horse.
Yeah.
I'll drive outside.
Yeah.
Do more fun things to me than just walking outside. If I'm gonna walk outside, I'm just gonna go get the mail and I'm coming back.
The coolest thing horses ever did was glue. Glue is really awesome that you can put things together and they stick.
Sure.
But other than that, they shit and they.
You did too. I mean, not saying you do that. Too. You've done that
That's
time or two.
See, here's the thing. Ford created a car
Sure.
and instantly, overnight, horses were no longer necessary. We didn't need them. That night,
We still had them.
we went to bed. We went to bed needing horses, and we woke up like, oh shit, what are you doing here? We don't need you anymore. Don't need you.
Again, I agree with the premise of I'm not a fan of hiking.
Yeah.
There's more fun things. At least to me, there's more fun things to do outside and sweat, and just be outside and
I could play
versus just walking around.
I can play certain sports.
Yep.
Like a little golf.
Yep.
Sometimes tennis.
Yep.
If I lost about 20 pounds, I like tennis. You're pushing it now with most other things.
There's other. You like going to the water park?
I do enjoy water, and I enjoy, I've got a pool out in the back.
Yeah.
Speaking of the pool, oh my goodness, we had a pipe rupture in our pool. With our equipment.
Yeah.
And our pool builder, which to his credit, we only paid him $200,000 for the pool. So obviously, there's no reason he should answer our phone calls. But it got built. Well, he never even finished everything he was supposed to finish. But he hasn't returned our calls on this damage.
Did he just skip out on the
Yeah, basically. Yeah, once he got
You're done enough. I'm walking.
Once he got his final payment, he just kind of peaced out, right? So we couldn't run our filter pump, and so after 2 days in this heat, I will tell you, a pool turns green.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, dude, you coming? No answer. And he finally answered, said, well, we should have the party on Wednesday. He didn't say we're going to come repair it. He just said we should have the part.
Right.
And so my wife texted and said, well, okay, great. When are you going to come fix it?
Yeah.
Because see, we've had these issues and these issues and these issues. And we signed this contract over a year ago. And this is another holiday, July 4th, that we're not going to get to use this pool. Yeah. And then we've got another kid's birthday, July 8th, that's coming up, and we're not going to get to use the pool. Yeah. And we just continually get to not use this thing that we paid a ton of money for. And no answer, nothing. It's been dead silence. Okay. So finally, we just had to go outside of them and actually pay somebody to come fix this thing. And then we went to a different pool cleaner because the pool cleaner we're using was tied to that other company. Yeah. And they've gotten it cleaned up in 2 days, and everything looks beautiful now. It's ready to use again. Speaking of which, why don't you bring your family over?
Yeah,
we
we need to. We need
I
to do
would
that.
love to have your family come
It's
over.
just, yep, we'll have to work on the schedule.
I think you got to meet the
Oh,
boys, and I've never met your wife, man. We got to make all that
Yeah,
happen.
we've worked together how many years?
I know. It's pretty criminal that we haven't.
Well, to be fair, I haven't met your wife yet either.
I know. We have got to meet. We have got to have our families meet. We got to.
We talk all the time, every day.
I know.
But I still haven't met your
I
wife.
know. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. We got to fix this.
It's pretty silly.
We have to
But I
fix
was going to
this.
ask though,
Yeah.
with your builder for the pool, was
Yes.
he a contractor?
Yeah. It's yeah. In fact,
Was there any kind of
Bluestone pools in DFW, don't use them. They stink.
there you go. I'm more so curious, did they not have some kind of warranty?
They do. Yeah, it's 10 years, and I don't trust them at all on it. I trust them zero. We're going to talk to the Better Business Bureau. We're going to try to get reimbursed by them for what we paid to get it fixed, right?
Sure.
And we're going to try, of course, to make them honor all this stuff. But like, I don't trust that they're going. I've got this feeling. So we had this project supervisor that wouldn't answer our concerns, right?
Yeah.
And they fired him. And I'm like, okay, good. I mean, the guy wasn't doing his job. And the owner actually came out here and did a walkthrough with me on every stage of the project and said, from now on, I'm your point of contact. You text me with anything, and I'm going to take care of it because I'm not happy with the way that you guys were served, and I just not the way I want my business represented.
Okay.
I felt, okay, good. This guy's being a man about it and saying, look, my business failed you, and I'm going to try to.
Sure.
Well, then he did even worse than the other guy.
Oh,
He is. It actually showed me why the other guy felt like he could do that, because this guy is the biggest like hide from your problems guy I've ever seen. He's just a turtle in a shell type of guy who.
Is this a small operation?
Well, I don't think so.
I've never heard of it.
So
I'm also not in the pool. So
I mean, they had amazing reviews.
Yeah.
And I mean, we went through a lot of. When I say we went through a lot of pool builders, we went through a lot, and we paid a little bit more than what we could have through others, because of their reviews, what they could handle. Because there were a lot of extras that we did. Obviously, to get $200,000, you don't just get a basic everything, right?
No.
You know, we had a lot of add-ons, a lot of extras.
Good bells and whistles on that.
Yeah, and we added a basketball court to our.
You said it's heated too.
It's heated and cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, we wanted everything.
Yeah.
And so we got everything. Sort of. It's still not even done.
Right.
You know,
properly. Right.
our Mister system. Look, we have the Misters around our cooking
around
area.
the perimeter. Oh yeah. You showed that to me.
Yeah, it just got working last week. I think they finally sent somebody out there. It hadn't been working the entire time. It's crazy, and that's the simplest engineering ever.
Yes.
Like that's literally
You
just
go to Home Depot.
you push
and get a $20.
You push water through a small hole and it misses. That's all you do.
Go buy
It's
me a water
that
hose.
simple.
And I use my knife
Six Flags runs a Mister all day long
everywhere.
during the summer, and it's all over the park.
Yeah.
And every time you probably, I'm sure they have problems with it too.
Yep.
You know what? They just dispatch somebody who fixes it instantly. It's not.
It's not a problem.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, yeah, that's. Man, I hope they get that working.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That's
That's rough.
But the guy, he acts like an absolute genius when he comes over. He likes to cross his arms. But I'm looking at him like, who are you talking to, bud? Like you're not. I am not an idiot, and I refuse to let you push me around like I am.
Yes. And you're not an idiot.
No, I'm
You're
not.
one of
I'm
the
not.
smartest people
Yeah.
that I know.
Well, I refuse to. So I go into every single interaction with everybody, believing I'm smarter than them.
Yeah.
Not in a conceited way, not in a I'm going to talk down to you type of way. Like even when I'm sitting here with you, there may be an area of expertise that you have, and I may concede, okay, he's studied this more than me. So sure, I may take your advice on something, right? And I may concede that you know more than me in an area, but I'm not going to concede that you're just better equipped than me
to handle or to learn.
Right. Yeah. And so I guess that frame of mind to me allows me, or it stops me from giving others the upper hand when I don't need to.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm in the room with some world-renowned physicist, like I'm not going to walk in there and say, whoa, well, evolution didn't happen and God's real. Like I'm not gonna play that game like so many people actually do.
Right.
Because that's stupid.
Yeah.
But what I will do is I'll listen to them and I'll ponder it and I'll think and then I'll go research it and I'll use my own I enjoy that, right?
Your own tools at your own disposal. And actually, I can attest to what you're saying. Like, I've known you for a long time. I mean, when I see you interacting with specifically new people,
Yeah.
right? When you meet somebody for the first time, you're you, I would say probably more than you normally are, because I feel like you're testing the waters.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I go a little bit over.
Yeah, you push the boundary,
Sure.
because if you shy that person away, or if they get pissed off at you,
Sure,
or whatever, you already learned something about
it gives you some info. Yeah,
Sure.
I gained something there. If you're that sensitive, then it tells me that you're fragile, and or you actually aren't. You don't have that knowledge base that you're pretending to have.
Yeah.
And that you know that if I chip away at it, I'm going to find out. I'm going to expose you.
You're gonna break it.
And so, okay, well, then I've gained some valuable knowledge now, right?
Yes.
And just at work, right? We have subject matter experts, obviously, and I know you're aware. There are certain ones of those that I know are solid as a rock.
Yeah.
As soon as I talk to them, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to find where their limits are.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to go deep enough. My knowledge isn't deep enough.
Yeah.
And there are others that, okay, I can easily get
Surface
there.
level. Yeah.
And that's fine too, because they're still doing the job that they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I disrespect you or that I hate you as a person or anything like that. All it means is I know where we stand, and now I know where our conversations are, and I know how to interact with you. And we both know if I were to tell you the genius electrician that's up there, right?
Yep.
I would never go into a discussion with him thinking that I'm going to get the upper hand electrically on him.
Right.
I would never do it. That's stupid. I'm not going to.
Right.
Right. But there's this one mechanic up there who I absolutely will every single time challenge him.
Yes.
Every time mechanically.
Yes.
Because I probably have the upper hand on him mechanically. And that's fine too.
It
He's
is.
also good at his job.
Yeah.
And I love the guy, by the way. I'm really good friends with him.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I don't challenge him. I challenge him every single day.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's what you have to do.
And it's not even necessarily that you're trying to intimidate somebody.
No.
Or that you're trying to figure out somebody's soft.
No, sometimes you're making them better.
Yes.
Like often that's what I'm doing with the one I'm talking about, the
Yeah.
mechanic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to support him and make him better.
Yeah.
Because if I find those areas where he's weaker and I can help prop him up, well, that only makes our organization better. Because now we found a weakness that we can identify, address, and fortify.
Agreed.
Now it's not a weakness anymore.
No,
You know?
right. And it's something that I kind of learned about you a long time ago. And that's something that I've always kind of, admired and at least respected for the most part. Sometimes you probably do rub some people the wrong way.
Oh, I know I do.
It's like, back pump the brakes a little bit.
I know I do.
For me to try to tell you that to stop, that's not really my place per se. I would never tell you what to do. But, it's just one of those things that you're, again, one of the smartest people I know. You're smart enough to understand your audience.
I try.
And you go in that little extra inch, and then you find it, and then you just you stay there, or you back it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is one of those things that it's fun to watch. Especially when we're joking around and
Yeah.
having fun. And,
Well, that's my favorite, like, know your audience time.
Yeah.
Is when I know the person across from me thinks I'm pushing boundaries,
Yeah.
but I actually know who's in the room.
Yeah.
And I know I haven't come close to a boundary yet.
Right.
I know I've got steps I can take. And so then I just keep trampling over what they think would be boundaries. And so,
But you also do tell people, hey, look, I know I'll pick on you. However, right? It's because I think you're awesome. Live
100%.
these things, right? And then also, you also tell these people, if I ever really legitimately piss you off, or you want me to stop, just say it,
100%.
right?
100%.
So that's something that nine people out of 10 won't do.
100%. And if I actually don't have respect for a person, I will not mess with them at all.
Sure.
So, like, if I don't genuinely like someone, they're not getting that treatment, because then it's no fun. Like,
Yeah.
that's not fun for me.
Right.
I don't
And
know.
that's one of the stories that one of our old managers that came from overseas. He was a manager overseas.
Yeah.
I remember what I'm talking about. He told me a story about that, and he was talking about specifically in Denmark. He was like, "That's how they are.
Yeah.
That's how they show you they like you.
Yeah.
They razz you,
Which
they
I love.
poke and they try to break you.
Yeah.
Your spirit, but in a fun way. as counter, intuitive as that is.
Yeah. Being a nuke in the Navy, like that's exactly how we work, right? That's how it works.
Well, so I've noticed that with a lot of the nuclear guys that I've worked with in the past, I wasn't in the nuclear Navy, or nuclear world or naval world, but I've noticed that with a lot of these people with these past experiences, that's how they kind of operate. That's just kind of their general demeanor. Yeah. Right. They're very, I would say, brash. Yeah. Pretty upfront, pretty honest for the most part. Like if I'd messed up, they're like, well, first of all, you suck, but let me show you why you suck. Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're pretty willing to at least help out a little bit. Right?
Usually.
In that sense, right. For the most part, I know you were or are, and then a few other ones that we've worked with.
You will get some that are not, and you'll get some that maybe relish a little bit too much in the fucking with you phase of it, right?
Yeah, and again, that's something that I've kind of noticed as well. But I chalk that up to as somebody's true, like that's their true personality,
right? Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
But yeah, it's all a good learning experience for sure.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. So what else? What else we got on the docket? Sports? What do you want to talk about?
Well, we could definitely talk to sports. I mean, there's what's going on in the world of sports right now? I don't know if there's enough.
So for me, on a quick personal level, I'm excited. I don't know if you remember this. I'm a Spurs fan.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And so we
say his name because I can't.
So the number one draft pick. His name is Victor Wembanyama.
Wembanyama.
Yes.
It begins with a Z, right? I thought it began with a Z. W?
Yeah.
Wembanyama.
Yep.
So I saw that he was number one. He's out of
France.
France, that's right. Just like Tony Parker was.
Like Tony Parker. And actually, what's cool is I heard a story. I was watching a summer league game. Tony Parker's brother, I forget his name. Tony Parker's brother coached Victor in France.
Oh, sweet.
So they all had a good following
in
general. Parker knew this kid. He's 19.
Yeah.
In the league, he's a kid.
I saw that he played in that summer league game yesterday, and that he showed flashes of why he was number one overall.
Yes. His first game out, I watched it, and I was hyped up like everybody. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Let's go. It was a little. I hesitate to say dud. He's an NBA player. He's not a dud.
Yeah.
But for as much hype as he got on his very first outing, I was like, what is this? He had a lot of blocks. I would say he had 5 to 7 blocks.
Yep.
Which is very promising. I would expect that from a 7'5" guy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He had some pretty good passes. He read the game well, but then he wasn't very aggressive in the paint.
Yep.
That kind of thing. His playmaking at the rim was a little lackluster.
Yep.
But then his last outing, he was 26 points.
Yeah. See,
he did a double, 26 points and 10 rebounds.
I think that's amazing. I think it's embarrassing how lucky the Spurs have gotten in our lifetime with draft picks.
Yes.
Right. So like if you go back to obviously Tony Parker, we mentioned him.
Yep.
But also even I'm gonna get his name wrong, Ginobili. Manu Ginobili. And then also obviously David Robinson.
Yep.
And I'm missing one.
Duncan.
Oh yeah, God, Duncan. So
it's okay. You're not a Spurs fan per se.
I'm not. I mean, I do like the sport of basketball.
Sure.
And obviously, if I was thinking about it and had them in front of me, I could probably rattle off the names much easier, just the faces. But like, they have an embarrassment of riches on draft picks, considering how good they are all the time.
Well, that was all GM. That was all Buford and Popovich.
Yeah,
those two were like this.
But
right?
if you take a team that stinks all the time, and you look there that are always in the lottery, and look at their draft picks, they're not getting these type of picks over and over and over again, but they have another guy they can build a franchise around and end up with multiple championships. It's pretty incredible.
They actually talked about that in the summer league game. So I forget when Robinson was drafted, 80 something.
Yeah.
And when he was in his latter part of his career was when Duncan came into the fold, right? So that was 99.
Yes.
Or no, excuse me, 97, I think.
That sounds about right, yeah.
97. So then Duncan's in. So then you have the Twin Towers for a little while.
Yes.
That's what they call them. And so Robinson leaves. Duncan gets Robinson his ring. Well, I say that. That's not fair. Robinson got his ring. Duncan got 5.
Yep.
Right. With Parker, Ginobili, all these cool, awesome cast of characters around them. So then you got foreign players. So the Spurs are kind of at least to me, one of the real teams that exploit the foreign market heavily. Yeah. Heavily. Because we've had a lot of players from France, from Spain,
Yeah.
Argentina, right? Other parts of the world, and they don't just stay in this niche USA market.
Right.
They expand because they know basketball is big overseas.
Right. Oh yeah, it's huge.
So we've really explored that, and then with this new kid coming out, he was the top prospect for the longest time. Not only his height, but Chris, he plays like a point guard.
Yeah.
You should see this guy is 7'4",
So
and he's doing between the legs, behind the.
You know what I worry about?
passes.
I worry about a Zion or a Greg Oden type thing, right? So like these
I do
huge guys.
But he's kind of a stick.
Yeah, I know.
He looks kind of goofy, but he's kind of.
So wasn't Greg Oden kind of a stick?
Yeah, but
I just worry about these huge guys. They seem to sometimes break down.
But I feel like with this kid, he's got a very similar build. He's a little taller, but he's got a very, very similar build to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's not large.
Right. No, he's not. He's not. Yeah.
And even in his draft days, they were kind of bashing on him.
Oh, he was a twig there.
Yeah, because he couldn't bench what was like 135 X amount of times, right?
Yeah, which is, I mean, he's done all right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
of
He's done all
course.
right.
So that's the thing is, they're saying.
I mean, I do wish he would quit jumping and bailing and trying to find another winner. Like I just, but
That's the
as
game
far as
now.
his play,
and I agree. I wish that there was a way to stop this.
as far as his play, yeah, Kevin Durant's obviously amazing,
Of course.
but it's disheartening to see him continually like, well, the Golden State's not good enough. Now I got to move over to Brooklyn. Well,
Right.
Brooklyn's not good enough. Now I got to go.
I got to go to Celtics, or I got to
Just
go to the.
cut it out.
Agreed.
Just it's enough.
Agreed. I think that there have been talks with Adam Silver about that very issue.
Well, I know they probably have, but like I also don't want power going away from the players. Like I'm
Right.
weird because
And that's a weird
I know.
line to balance.
I know. So in a way, I like what they've done, and in a way, I don't.
Right.
I just don't. I don't like what it's done to the game.
The freedom of the players takes away from the fun of the fans.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Certainly, the idea of rooting for your home team when a guy just I'm tired of it here and I'm done.
Right.
Meanwhile, the Golden State Warriors were still towards the top of the league. Like now, obviously, whenever they had the injuries going into that next season. The season where Kevin Durant left and had to sit an entire season for Brooklyn without even getting to play.
Right. Because of the injury. Yep.
Right. But see,
But they paid him.
Golden State was still stacked,
They were.
ready to go after he came back. Like all you do is wait it out.
Right.
He just couldn't do that. He
No.
just I have to bail now.
Yeah. Yep.
I
I get it. And it's hard to watch sometimes, but
Yeah.
I don't really.
And that's
know
after
the
joining
answer.
them. After being on the after being with Oklahoma and being up 3-1 on the and then going like, oh my goodness, stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Because Oklahoma had Harden, Durant, and Russell Westbrook all at one time.
Yeah.
Now they were all a little bit more or less mature than they became, right? But can you imagine if they all three matured together?
Yeah. And it's hard for me to. Of course, I'm not a multi-million-dollar athlete.
That's right.
It's hard for me.
Are you not?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm surprised you didn't know
Yes. Yeah, I should have. We did discuss that we were friends.
Yeah. But no, it's one of those things that in my mind, like how do you what's going on? What's their mindset when they're jumping ship so early? You're already a high level elite player.
Yep.
You're already multi-million-dollar paid.
Yep.
You've already won championships.
Yep.
What are you gaining other
don't
than
know.
maybe just staying in the headlines? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's odd to me,
Like with him, it's almost like he needs to be worshipped, as much as anyone else. So like, if it's LeBron that's getting more headlines, or if it's Steph Curry that's getting more headlines, or whatever, he needs the most headlines.
Right. And
But
that's kind of where my
meanwhile,
mindset's
if the
at.
headline goes negative at all, he gets really whiny. And so does LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron does too. I'm not saying he doesn't. But come on, man. If you're going to get all the positive headlines, you're also going to get negative ones. LeBron needs to learn that too.
Yeah.
If you're going to get, because he gets a lot of accolades, and he deserves them. LeBron James deserves them. But you're going to get negatives.
Yep.
If you're going to have people say that you compete for greatest of all time, and he
Yep.
gets people that say that,
Yep.
then you're going to have people also point out that you're not the greatest of all time,
Right.
that you're just close. Okay, that's fair.
It is fair.
It's
Absolutely.
fair. You're close. By the way, you're one of a very select few people who are close to the greatest of all
I
time.
would say 3.
Yeah.
people.
I think
Five
so.
tops?
For me, he's number 2
Okay.
of all time.
Yes.
That's for me.
You and I feel like we're on the same page on
Yeah,
this.
I think so. For me, he's number 2.
Yep.
Okay, So there's only one person in the history of the world.
And it's the much debated topic.
That's right.
Everybody debates this.
Because there are people that think you're better, although it's only a few.
Yep.
Most people think Michael's better. Okay.
Mhm.
Look, dude, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If I could be considered the second greatest at anything,
yeah,
especially something as lucrative as basketball,
yeah,
I feel like I feel like I'd be okay. I feel like I'd be all right with it.
And that's the other thing is Chris Carter or Jerry Rice.
But you know what? Whereas
Right.
I say I would be okay with it, maybe I wouldn't.
But not as a professional athlete, right? You got to put your mind
Because
put your mind in their side.
If I was okay with it, would I actually be good enough to be that good? Because is it the drive to be number one that made him good enough to be number two? And I think that's probably true.
That is true.
Yeah.
But in their mind, it's not good enough to be number two.
That's what I'm saying.
And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes.
So you can't be number two unless you drive
Yes.
makes you. I have to be number one.
Yes.
And so that's why calling him number two pisses him off so much, right?
Yes.
You know. So it's this weird dichotomy, and you can't get out of it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. So yeah. Other than that, I guess what do you got? The Rangers? They're kind of on a little skid.
They are, and honestly, they probably deserve it.
Yeah.
They didn't do enough to fix their team.
No.
And
Well, hold on. They did, but injuries have been.
That's right.
The bug has gotten them. I feel like the team that they had at the beginning of the year was good enough to win it all. I will wholeheartedly agree with that.
I don't know if win it all's. I don't know if I agree with win it all. I think that
I do. We've got 5 All-Stars on starting this year for the All-Star game.
that is kind of
5 of
crazy.
them.
That is kind of crazy. Huh?
And we haven't had one since 2012
Yeah.
with Deltray.
And DeGrom hasn't thrown a pitch since what, May?
Right.
You know.
And that was hard. That was the hard.
I know. Well, obviously, we're paying him, $250 million over 5 years, whatever, right? Like,
yeah. For him to just sit on the bench again.
mm-hmm.
You know, I was excited and hesitant at the same time.
Oh, well, you should have been.
Because when we were talking about it, we were like, this is awesome and not at the same time.
Yeah. Well, he's been a huge injury risk for years, and he's still a huge injury risk.
Yep.
And okay, so what he do? He went out and got injured. Obviously,
he's turning into Romo in the latter years. You know,
that's right.
He's a glass cannon.
Yeah.
You know, he's phenomenal when he's on the field, but when he gets off the field, then you lose it.
Yeah. Here's. I mean, hopefully we get a couple years out of that 5-year contract. That's all you can hope for.
Yeah.
And hopefully he comes back, close to himself.
Sure.
All right. I need that off.
Get a little cold over there, huh?
I am.
Nice.
I thought I needed that, and I just didn't in the end.
So is there anything else in the internet world you want to talk about?
Let me see.
We've got what's been going on in Zelda land?
Well, so you still haven't.
Okay, no. Okay, so I don't have a Switch, and I was thinking about this the other day when you mentioned this new game, not Breath of the Wild. I'm sorry. What is this one called?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, Tears of the Kingdom. I have not played. Breath of the Wild. I've played a few hours of, and it was fun. I'm not bashing it. I just didn't get far enough into it to really, I guess, understand what you appreciate so much about it. And so backing up farther, how the last. I was telling you the other day, the last Zelda game that I played was Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Those were in Nintendo 64 right games.
Yep.
So I came into the game late with Zelda.
Yep.
I didn't play any of the prior Nintendo consoles, and I still haven't. And so I played Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask only.
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry, and then a little bit of Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
And then, so I'm trying to think back to where, okay, so what caught my imagination back with those two specifically?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what it was the kind of growing up, and so we did a major console shift when I was little.
Yeah.
From Nintendo to Super Nintendo to Nintendo 64.
Yeah, it was a big
It
deal.
was a huge jump.
It was.
Right. And so when you get into this, I remember the first time I saw Mario 64. I was like, what is this? This is amazing.
It was a big deal. It was a huge deal when Mario 64 came out.
And it still is. Like, I still have that game.
It's a great game.
And you play it on your big screen TV, and it's
a great game.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
But when that game came out, and not talking about like GoldenEye, stuff like that, those were all important games.
Of course.
64. But I think Mario 64 specifically was just stratospheric in its launch. And I remember I worked that summer so hard to get that console, to get that game, right? And then I got that. And then so I dove so far into that game, and I think I beat it. Yeah, years ago, right?
I'm sure.
But then one of my cousins brought over, Zelda.
Yeah.
What is this game?
Yeah.
And I was the idiot. This is Zelda, and he had to coach.
Yeah.
No, that's
Definitely.
not Zelda,
Yeah.
right? His name is Link. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
So I had to get into the whole story with it. And so when I started playing that one, it brought into a new game, not necessarily a game mode, but a new idea of where you could go in and you could do other things. You could fish in that game. You could ride a horse. You could shoot bows and arrows.
Yeah.
Right. You could do other fun things.
Oh, so you like the distractions?
Yes, but it didn't overpower what the story
So let me
was.
tell you, man, there's never been more distractions than in Tears of the Kingdom.
I think so. That's where I was going. Is when you talked about it the other day, I was like, it almost sounds like too much.
It's not though. Well, so there are times that I'm like, I don't know if I can ever finish all of the different like side quests and stuff.
Right.
But then again, I don't know how much I care about ever finishing, or why do I care what timetable I finish them on? Why do I care if it takes me 3 years to finish? In fact, why isn't that a good thing?
That's what she said.
Yeah. But why isn't it though?
Agreed.
So
I'm of the same mindset for the most part. But if I spend 3 years on a game, I'm not going to finish it. That's just me.
You will this one. This one. All right. Before you make your decision, you got to try it.
Of course.
You got to come over. Like, all right, I want your family's got to come hang out, and you got to play this game. You have to play it.
I will play it.
I want you to start from the beginning and just see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so in this game, is he adolescent Link?
It's a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
So it takes place right after the events of Breath of the Wild.
So I think that's one of the things that I really appreciated about Ocarina of Time
And Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask.
Direct sequel. It's the first time they've done a direct sequel since then.
But specifically with Ocarina of Time, you get to adult Link.
Right.
And to me, I was like, okay, I get to play little kid Link, get to do all these things. And then they did story jumps between the two age gaps. And then you go around and find that one random NPC and like, hey, you seem familiar for some reason. Have we met before? And when you were a kid, you walked around.
Well,
those kind of continue.
So it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. Like most of the NPCs in Tears of the Kingdom did exist in Breath of the Wild, and they have progressed in their lives and stuff. Like is it neat?
Is it similar to that?
Kind of like there's a couple that like were sort of like the guy wanted to ask the girl out, and like in Tears of the Kingdom they have a couple kids.
Right.
Like there's little things like that like if you paid enough attention to Breath of the Wild, you will get payoffs here.
Okay.
But
you mentioned the other day about the blueprints and the building and all these things, and I love the idea, but I don't want it to be Fortnite. I don't want to have to build a box to beat you.
It's definitely not.
You
definitely don't have to.
You know what I mean?
You definitely don't have to. That's all like icing
For this game.
Yes, that's all like for fun.
Okay.
Now there are some shrines and stuff like to complete them. You've got to use those abilities that he has.
Yeah.
But you don't have to like build vehicles and build like robots to
There are
destroy
multiple ways to win.
every.
I guess you win. No.
Well,
complete the task. I guess I should say.
every single task he's got, there's a million ways to complete, and they don't care how you do it. On anyone to do it. As long as if you got to get this thing to this place, as long as it gets there, they don't care how you do it. You could fly it there. You can ride it in a cart. You could. So, whereas some people are creating these flying vehicles and doing all these things, you could also you could hitch a cart up to a horse and pull it with a horse. We talked earlier about the usefulness of horses anymore, right? You can go back to using horses, or you can make these stupid vehicles people are making.
So this is pre-1900s?
Yeah. You can do whatever you want to do, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But see, that's the other thing, I guess, that it doesn't deter me from the game. I guess that makes me a little more hesitant because for the most part, I love multiple ways of doing things in video games or multiple options. I like customizing that kind of a thing. But at least to me, on this game, I'd have to try it out, like you said, to see. But if you've got move this box to this place, but here's an infinite list of ways to do it, it's kind of a deterrent in a way.
Yeah.
Like, just give me the horse card, and I'll just draw it across, and I'll beat the game. And I'm done.
I hear you, but I think you've got to see it in action before you know.
Okay.
Because once you see it in action, I think you'll appreciate it.
Okay. And I did like the adaptive changes that they did in Breath of the Wild. So like, if you're going to go to the cold, you got to wear the right gear. If you're going to go to the heat, you got to wear the right gear.
Yeah, so that all exists too. Okay. That's still there.
But in Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask didn't have flying cars. So that's kind of why I'm like,
I gotta tell you, man, like,
what is this?
but the depths.
Oh, you just have to see this place.
Okay.
The map is so enormous. It will.
Well, yeah, because you said there's 2 levels, right? Or
Well, there's. I guess.
multiple levels.
I guess technically there's 3 levels.
Multiple levels.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of unbelievable.
Awesome.
What time do you need to leave?
Now-ish.
Damn. It's too bad.
You got a few more minutes. What else you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I think we're pretty much wrapped up. Unfortunately, we got nobody in the live, so I'm gonna stop it.
Bye, internet.
Yeah. F you.